Back to the another tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to talk about separation of concern. Okay, so what is separation of concern? Okay, so separation of concern is a design principle in computer science. Okay, so that encourages you to break down complex program into smaller, more manageable pieces. Okay, so each piece focus on a single concern or a specific aspect of the program functionality. So it's like organizing your toolbox, like screwdrivers stay with hammers, like screwdrivers should stay with screwdrivers, hammers should stay with hammers. So it's more like organizing your toolbox. Okay, so why do we organize it? We organize it so that it makes us easy to find what we need when we need that, and it helps us to make the things tidy, right? So it's just helps us to conquer the chaos, okay, in programming. So if you are feeling so chaotic while you are doing a programming, so you should follow this principle of separation of concern to organize and manage your code in a much uh, simpler manner, so that it will help you to keep things tidy. Okay, so I will be explaining you with the example. So what is the benefit of separation of concern? Is easy to understand. Small code chunks are easier to grasp, making your program more readable for yourself and others. So it's easier to maintain. When you need to fix a bug or add new features, you can focus on the specific concern without worrying about breaking something else, right? So more reusable. So well-defined concerns can be reused in different parts of your program or even in other projects, right? So some of the example of separation of concern in actions is, for example, just let's suppose you are building a house. So imagine the building like this house. You wouldn't try to do everything yourself, right? You'd hire an electrician for wiring, a plumber for pipes, a carpenter for the framing. So each person focus on their own areas of expertise, so making the construction process smoother and more efficient, right? So obvious. So even like, for example, you can take another example of separation of concern, that is writing an essay. So when writing an essay, you wouldn't jump the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusions all together. You'd separate them into distinct sections, right, making the essay easier to read and follow through, right? So this is how it works. So understanding, so there are two more main important concepts in separation of concern, that is coupling and cohesion. So coupling, that refers to how connected different parts of your code are. So tightly coupled code means that change in one part can easily ripple through and affect other parts, so making it difficult to maintain. So your code should be less coupled as possible. So loosely coupled code, on the other hand, is more independent, making changes more contained, right? And cohesion, this is another important concept of separation of concern. This refers to how focused a piece of code is. So highly cohesive code deals with a single well-defined task. So your code should be highly cohesive. Okay, so it should focus on the single task, okay, rather than doing multiple tasks in a same piece of code, right? Same function. So that's it, guys. So I would like to give you a simple example to showcase how you should just avoid the traditional approach. So in the traditional approach, this is the example of a traditional approach. In traditional approach, what we might define is a single activity class that handles both displaying the list and navigating the detail screen, as you can see here. Okay, so this is a project list activity, and you have the same single activity handling the display of the list with the adapter, as you can see here. This is the list of products that you want to show by the activity. Okay, and navigating to the detailed screen is also handled by the single activity. Okay, so so this makes a logic, the UI logic displaying the list, and the business logic, that is a product data and navigation logic, right? So everything is being all like all all mixed up, so it's very difficult to understand. This is the single piece of code, you see, like everything is mixed in the same block of code, right? So as you can see here, so how do we improve this approach? We have the improved approach, that is a separation of concern, and this is the example. So in the same example, that we have a product list activity, having this product adapter, the product data class for product information, right? And you have the product list adapter, which handles the navigation and everything, right? With the click listener displaying the products and everything. So with the separation of concern, here we separate the code. Okay, so we use different classes for different concerns, as you can see here. So we have a product repository, that's the interface for defining product data access logic. Then you have the implementation part of the product repository. Okay, so you can also replace this with the real data, as you can see here. So this in memory product repository implements the this product repository interface and overrides this create products. Okay, so which will define the product access logic. Okay, so the product data class remains the same. So separate class for handling the product list UI logic, as you can see here. So you have a product list view model, which pretty much handles the product list UI logic, okay, which was missing here. As you can see here, there was no view model, right? So all this was being handled inside the same activity class, as you can see here. So this is making more like jumbled up, everything in the same activity. So you should not do that. Instead, you should create a separate class for handling the product list UI logic, which just provides you the product, and you have this separate activity for displaying the product list. This is a product list separation of concern activity that has a product list. You can just access the product by this view model, as you can see here. You just observe this product and then just submit it to the adapter to display it, right? And adapter will handle the product click using separate listener or navigate the component. Okay, so this is handled here. So this is how you do the separation of concern, guys, and I hope everything is clear with you guys. And if you have any questions, if you like, please do subscribe, share if you like it, and if you want your friends to learn more about this concept. And I hope you will improve your programming using this approach. So so this is the one of the most important concept that you have to understand if you are programming. Okay guys, so thank you guys, and catch you up in the next lecture.